the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria, the time is 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of The World Today for the week. It is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria Ibadan Zonal Station comprising news and feature. In the lineup, heavy security personnel storm Aso Rock over planned protests. Police debunk release of adopted school children in Oyo. On the foreign scene, U.S. House votes to end President Trump's Iran war. China issues travel ban on 4 New Zealand lawmakers. Heart of the matter is on the need to rid the police of force and bad eggs. My name is Olubukola Enimola, and delivering the news with me this afternoon is
Remy or Molola. You can also listen to us via live stream on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Prem FM 93.5. The rains are here. Ensure you keep yourself warm. Now, the news in full. There was heavy security presence this morning around the access routes to the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja, with anti-riot policemen cordoning the main gates of the State House. Report says the security was beefed up following a planned march to the villa by human rights activist and African Action Congress presidential candidate Mr. Moyele Sowore, who declared that he will lead protesters to Aso Rock if the abducted school children from Oyo and Borno states were not rescued. It was observed that several anti-riot police with officers in full riot gear surrounded the villa's main entrance to forestall any breakdown of law and order.
The Oyo State Police commanders debunked a viral message circulating across various social media platforms alleging that the pupils and teachers adopted from Hauro Eshiele and Diawata communities in Orire local government area of the state have been released by their adopters. In the statement by its spokesperson, Mr. Olayinka Anyolade, in Ibadan, the state's capital, the police described the claim as false, misleading, and entirely unsubstantiated. It urged residents to rely solely on information released through the official channels of the Nigeria Police Force and other authorized government agencies. Report says over 40 school children and their teachers were adopted during a coordinated attack at Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawata Community High School, Hauro Eshiele, and LA Primary School in Orire local government area of the state, May 15, 2026.
Similarly, the Nigeria Police Force, Oyo State Command, has cautioned members of the public to avoid spreading unverified information on social media and other communication platforms. This is contained in a statement by the Police Public Relations Officer in Oyo State, Mr. Olayinka Anyolade. The statement notes that such action could hinder rescue efforts of the kidnapped victims. He stressed that intensive efforts are ongoing to secure the safe return of the victims. According to the statement, the police will continue to provide timely and accurate updates as investigation operation progresses. The statement adds that the commander encouraged residents to promptly report emergencies and suspicious activities through the Oyo State Call Response Center toll-free line of 615 or the police command.
And still on security, the Ogun State Police Command has arrested a man identified as Johnson Ele for allegedly producing and circulating a false video claiming that kidnappers and bandits were operating along the Owode-Diroko Road. The police public relations officer, Mr. Olusheyi Babasheyi, who confirmed the arrest of the suspect in a statement in Abeokuta, said the video, which went viral on social media, was immediately investigated and found to be false and misleading. Mr. Babasheyi noted that there was no record of any kidnapping or banditry incident in the area as portrayed in the video, noting that the investigators reportedly identified and arrested the suspect after discovering that he appeared in the video. The Ogun State PPRO said The suspect admitted that the content was deliberately created to attract public attention and generate online engagement. Mr. Babasheyi said the suspect will be charged to court after investigations are concluded. He cautioned members of the public against spreading unverified security information, stressing that fake alerts could cause panic, disrupt a public order, and undermine confidence in security agencies.
The Nigeria Police Force, Oyo State Command, says it has confirmed a full-scale It has commenced a full-scale investigation into the attack on the Nigeria Immigration Service Passport Office in Ogbomoso, while also recording a breakthrough in the fight against cultism and illegal possession of firearms in Efon. According to the police public relations officer in the state, Mr. Olayinka Ayanlade, armed hoodlums invaded the immigration facility on Tuesday night after scaling the perimeter fence through a bushy area behind the office. Mr. Ayanlade said the assailants reportedly attacked 2 immigration officers on duty, inflicting injuries on them, 4 carting away a rifle, ammunition, and a mobile phone, a generating set, and a motorcycle battery. He noted that the injured officers have received medical attention and are said to be in a stable condition, while tactical and surveillance teams have been deployed to track down the perpetrators and recover the stolen items. Meanwhile, in a separate intelligence and operation in the Itabale area of Ogbori-Efon, operatives of the police anti-cultism unit working with the Amotekun Corps arrested a 21-year-old suspect, Salami Obisheson, recovering a cut-sized locally made firearm in his possession. According to the state PPRO, preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect allegedly obtained the weapon from a friend currently serving a prison sentence at the Ikoyi Correctional Center.
Similarly, the Commissioner of Police in Delta State, Mr. Yemi Oyeniyi, has directed area commanders and divisional police officers to strengthen security around schools, correctional centers, churches, and mosques across the state. Mr. Oyeniyi gave the directive during a meeting with the members of the command management team, area commanders, tactical commanders, divisional police officers, and heads of departments. According to the Commissioner, area commanders and divisional police officers must identify schools, correctional centers, and places of worship within their jurisdictions and ensure regular security patrols and visits. Mr. Oyeniyi also directed supervising officers to enforce compliance with the operational guidelines of the Nigeria Police Force, warning that they would be held responsible for acts of professional misconduct by officers under their supervision. He urged PPROs to engage community leaders and other stakeholders to promote security awareness and vigilance.
Several students and staff of Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State are receiving medical attention following the recurrence of a strange and offensive odor within the school premises. The incident reportedly happened when students and teachers perceived a pungent smell during school hours, resulting in discomfort, breathing difficulties, and panic. Eyewitnesses said some affected students and staff were immediately rushed to General Hospital in Ijebu-Ode, where they received urgent medical attention. The incident was said to be similar to an earlier occurrence in April this year, when about 30 students of the school were hospitalized after exposure to an unidentified substance. Some parents who stormed the school premises expressed outrage and fear over what many describe as a recurring environmental and public health threat. They also called on the Ogun State government and relevant regulatory agencies to launch a thorough investigation and urgently implement measures to prevent further occurrences.
A growing number of parents across Oyo State are increasingly rejecting public school education in favor of private ones, especially at primary and secondary school levels. Correspondent Folakemi Wujuade explores the factors driving this migration and the concerns raised by educators. Her report.
In recent years, a growing number of parents across Oyo State have increasingly opted for private old schools over public institutions despite the additional financial burden This trend, observable in urban centers like Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, and extending to towns such as Ogbomosho and Iseyin, reflects deeper concerns about quality infrastructure and the overall learning environment within the state's education system. One of the most significant drivers of this shift is the perceived decline in the quality of education of most of the public schools. Stakeholders in the sector have pointed to persistent challenges such as poor infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, and limited teaching materials. In their separate reactions, some parents in Ibadan cited improved academic performance and access to better learning opportunities as key factors influencing their decisions.
It's hardly for you to be seeing private school students roaming around the streets. In public school, you go to school, nobody will call you. In private school, if you don't go, they will call your parents.
In private school, your children will have a one-on-one lecture with the teachers. And in private school, we have more parent involvement. Many private schools go beyond and above parents in their children's.
Private owned institutions, there won't be strike. It's just going to be your education.
A secondary school teacher, Mrs. Temitope Adesiyan, said even if parents choose private schools for their young children at elementary level, they should let them mature before sending them off to private secondary schools.
Your child is excellent, your child is doing well academically, but what about mentally, what about psychologically? The truth is, if they have not matured in all those areas, there is nothing you can do. So please, parents, don't just base your child's class on the academic performance alone. Be sure that that child is matured both mentally and psychologically to be able to bear the stress of secondary school.
Another educationist, Mr. Edward Ikechukwu, explained that some private school owners usually do the bidding of parents and guardians, which cannot happen in the public schools.
There is a quiet problem slowly destroying them, and many people are not talking about it. The problem is trying to please parents at the expense of standards. Some schools are afraid of losing students, so they begin to compromise. Good school is not built on fear of parents. It is built on clear standard, strong value, and consistent discipline.
Mr. Ikechukwu, however, called on government at all levels to improve the academic standard of public schools to make them attractive to parents. In Ibadan, Folakemi Wojuade, Radio Nigeria.
This is The World Today, the story that made the headlines. Heavy security personnel stormed Aso Rock over planned protest. Police debunk for release of abducted school children in Oyo. Stood to calm U.S. House vote to end President Trump's Iran war. China issued travel ban on 4 New Zealand lawmakers. With these and many more, we'll be right back. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thank you for staying tuned. We now go to the rest of the stories. Stakeholders in Ogun State have called on government at all levels to invest heavily in cycling infrastructure to promote safer and more sustainable transportation. They emphasize that the provision of dedicated bicycle lanes, secure parking facilities, and sustained public awareness campaigns are critical to encouraging cycling and achieving environmental sustainability. Correspondent Francesca Repeta completes the story.
Learning to ride a bicycle is one of life's memorable milestones, often associated with childhood adventures, determination, and independence. Beyond the fond memories, health experts describe cycling as one of the most effective low-impact aerobic exercises. It helps reduce body fat, strengthens muscles and bones, improves cardiovascular health, enhances mental alertness, and contributes to overall emotional well-being. In addition to its health benefits, cycling offers a practical and affordable transportation option, especially in the face of rising petroleum costs and increasing urban congestion. The Public Relations Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Ogun State Sector Command, Superintendent Route Commander Afolabi Odusi, explained that cycling remains a sustainable alternative for short-distance commuting and can significantly reduce pressure on road transport systems.
Government will do its part by ensuring that we have road designed for bicycles. And when all these things are there, gradually you see people picking interest.
Mr. Odusi appealed to motorists to respect the rights of cyclists by maintaining safe distances and exercising caution while sharing the road. He, however, advised cyclists to strictly obey traffic regulations, wear protective helmets, use reflective jackets, and ensure their bicycles are roadworthy to minimize the risk of accidents, particularly at night and during adverse weather conditions. Speaking on this year's theme, Cycling for a Greener Future, an environmentalist, Mr. Michael Simiri, expressed concern over the growing effects of climate change, including rising temperatures, flooding, and environmental degradation. He noted that transportation remains one of the major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, and stressed the need for Nigerians to embrace cleaner and more sustainable mobility options, including cycling.
In contrast to cars, it has no engine, that it doesn't pollute the environment.
Also speaking, Ogun State cycling coach Mr. Kamoli Amo highlighted the role of cycling in fostering social interaction, healthy lifestyles, and community development. According to him, integrating cycling into school sports programs will not only promote healthy living among young people, but also help discover future champions capable of representing the state and the country at national and international competitions.
Ogun State Cycling have been doing well in cycling because big challenges is equipment. We need equipment. We need support from the state government to come to our rescue and help us so that we can be competing well both international and locally.
Mr. Amo further advocated the establishment of permanent and designated cycling routes across major communities to ensure the safety of cyclists and encourage wider participation in the sports. World Bicycle Day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 2018 to recognize the uniqueness, longevity, affordability, reliability, and environmental benefits of the bicycle as a simple, sustainable means of transportation. This year's celebration is themed Cycling for a Greener Future, underscoring the bicycle's role in advancing healthier lives, cleaner cities, and a more sustainable planet. In Abeokuta, Francesca Irekpita, Radio Nigeria.
The federal government expressed the vote of confidence on the mining marshals of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) and commended the officers for their service to the country. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, gave the commendation during the inauguration of 8 newly acquired gun trucks for the mining marshals at the NSCDC National Headquarters in Abuja. Dr. Alake commended the mining marshals for their commitment and sacrifices in the ongoing battle against illegal mining activities across the country, describing their intervention as a critical component of the federal government efforts to sanitize the solid mineral sector. The minister also warned individuals and groups seeking to undermine the martial operations to desist or face the full weight of the law. Dr. Alake stressed that the federal government remain unwavering in its support for the mining marshals and will continue to provide the resources, logistics, and institutional backing required for them to effectively discharge their mandate.
Now to the foreign scene. The United States House of Representatives has voted in favor of measures to halt President Donald Trump's war in Iran as the conflict drags into a 4th month and both sides remain at loggerheads in peace negotiations. The vote marks the first successful support effort by lawmakers to force the U.S. to end a conflict that has mounted catastrophic effects from thousands of civilian deaths to global trade disruptions. It also comes as opposition to the conflict had grown significantly within camps of President Trump's Republican Party due to the effects on Americans and the president's failure to swiftly secure a concrete, lasting deal with Iran.
China has banned 4 New Zealand lawmakers from entering the country for visiting Taiwan last month, saying they disregarded Beijing's concern, resolute opposition, and repeated prior warnings. In a statement, the embassy called the visit an interference in its internal affairs, adding that the lawmakers should not be surprised because China has consistently opposed visits to Taiwan by members of parliament. A spokesperson for Foreign Minister Winston Peters said the New Zealand lawmakers have visited Taiwan for decades without a problem. The minister was surprised to learn that China has taken a decision to, for the first time, impose travel bans on New Zealand lawmakers as a result of trip to Taiwan.
The U.S. State Department has announced that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to review their ceasefire and create a number of pilot security zones inside Lebanon in which Hezbollah operatives will be banned. A joint statement says the agreement was contingent on the complete cessation of attacks by the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah, among other conditions. The 3 countries also rejected any attempt by any state or non-state actor to hold Lebanon's future hostage. The agreement was announced in Washington after Israeli strikes killed at least 9 people in southern Lebanon and Hezbollah fired rockets into northern Israel. Meanwhile, Lebanese state media has reported that Israeli strikes continued in the south of Lebanon today, with at least 1 strike causing casualties. The agreement between Israel and Lebanon, reached after a 4th round of U.S.-mediated talks, is contingent on the evacuation of all Hezbollah operatives from an area between the Israeli border and Latine River, about 30 kilometers, 19 miles to the north, which is currently occupied by Israeli ground forces.
In today's Heart of the Matter, Fumilola Obagbaego of our Current Affairs Unit writes on the need to rid the police force of bad eggs.
The police force remains one of the most important institutions in any society. It is entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining law and order, protecting lives and property, and enforcing the law without fear or favor. However, the actions of a few unethical officers have continued to tarnish the image of the police and erode public confidence in the institution. This reality underscores the urgent need to rid the police force of bad eggs. Across the country, reports of corruption, extortion, abuse of power, unlawful arrest, and human rights violations involving some police officers have become a source of concern. While many officers carry out their duties with professionalism and dedication, the misconduct of a minority often overshadows the sacrifices and achievements of the majority. Consequently, citizens become distrustful of the police, making cooperation in crime prevention and investigation more difficult. Police force that tolerates misconduct risk losing its legitimacy in the eyes of the public. Trust is the foundation of effective policing. When citizens believe that officers are corrupt or abusive, they are not likely to report crimes, provide useful information, or seek police assistance when necessary. This weakens the overall security architecture and creates an environment where criminal activities can thrive. To address this challenge, police authorities must strengthen internal disciplinary mechanisms and ensure that officers found guilty of misconduct face appropriate sanctions. Investigations into allegations of corruption and abuse should be transparent, impartial, and swift. There should be no room for favoritism or cover-ups, regardless of any officer's rank or connections. Also, recruitment processes should be rigorous enough to attract individuals with integrity, sound judgment and a commitment to public service. Continuous training on ethics, human rights, and professional conduct is equally essential. Officers must understand that their primary duty is to serve and protect the public, not exploit them. The government also has a role to play by improving the welfare of police personnel. Better remuneration, adequate equipment, and conducive working conditions can help reduce the temptation for corrupt practices. At the same time, independent oversight bodies should be empowered to receive and investigate complaints from members of the public. Ridding the police force of bad eggs is not merely about punishing offenders. It is about restoring public confidence and strengthening the institution's ability to fulfill its mandate effectively. A disciplined, accountable, and professional police force is indispensable for national development, peace, and security. The sooner decisive actions are taken to remove corrupt and abusive elements, the better for both the police and the society they are sworn to protect.
That script on the need to rid the police force of bad eggs was written by Fumilola Obagbaego of our Current Affairs Unit and read by Stephen Agbaje.
To end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. There was heavy security presence this morning around the access routes to the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja, with anti-riot policemen condoning the main gates of the State House. The Oyo State Police commanders debunked a viral message circulating across various social media platforms alleging that the pupils and teachers adopted from Haure Shiele and Wayota communities in Uriri local government area of the state have been released by their adopters. We also brought to you that the United States House of Representatives has voted in favor of measures to house President Donald Trump's war in Iran as the conflict drags into a fourth month and both sides remain at loggerheads in peace negotiations. And we also told you that China has banned 4 New Zealand lawmakers from entering the country for visiting Taiwan last month, saying they disregarded Beijing's concerns, resolute oppositions, and repeated prior warnings.
Well, that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. Modupe Toba edited. I am Remi Omolola from my colleague
Olubukola Enimola. Thank you for your time and do enjoy the rest of the day.
Good afternoon.